ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
The stage is set in Nashville for a critical final showdown in the race for president. The new protocols in place for tonight's debate. The global pandemic changing the way we vote, what polling locations will look like next week. And the first drug approved to treat the coronavirus, but doctors say it's far from a cure. Plus, the first case of COVID-19 reported at a Vista High School just 2 days after reopening. But first, just into the newsroom, San Diego police released the 911 call and body camera footage of a domestic disturbance that ended with police shooting a man on his front porch in Rancho Penasquitos.
Just cut it out. Could you just leave the room?
You're the one starting
leave the room.
No, this is what we're doing. We're going this way. We're going this way.
During the call last week, the woman repeatedly told 61-year-old Richard Young to leave the room. Young repeatedly said that he would get his gun and wait for police to arrive, calling for suicide by cop. When officers showed up, they found Young sitting on a patio chair and the woman standing next to the front door. As they picked Young up from the chair, he reached for a gun in the back of his waistband. An officer shot him in the stomach. Young's injuries are not life-threatening. The shooting is still under investigation. And we're less than 2 hours away from the second and final presidential debate. President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden are in Nashville to make their final pitch to voters. More than 40 million ballots have already been cast across the country. Tonight, for the first time, both candidates' mics will be muted while their opponent speaks. And within the past hour, crews removed the plexiglass from the debate stage. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is at Belmont University with the push leading up to tonight.
The stage is set in Nashville for a critical final showdown in this contentious presidential race. President Donald Trump, who is trailing behind former Vice President Joe Biden in most national polls, hoping for a boost tonight and laying the groundwork for what could be another combative debate. Already criticizing the debate commission, the topics that will be covered, and the moderator. Today, tweeting video of this week's yet-to-air interview with 60 Minutes that he walked out of, accusing the correspondent of being biased and writing that tonight's debate moderator is, quote, much worse. The president also going after the unprecedented decision to mute each candidate's microphone for 2 minutes at a time while his opponent answers questions.
Well, I think the mute is very unfair.
A move the debate commission hopes will avoid some of the relentless interruptions that marred the first debate.
You just don't.
Here's the deal. I know a lot more about this.
Let him finish.
While the president has spent the week campaigning in key swing states,
Thank you, North Carolina. Go out and vote.
Joe Biden has remained in Delaware preparing for tonight, though the 90-minute face-off will be broken up into 6 15-minute-long segments covering topics including race, climate change, and national security. Biden telling ABC affiliate WISN he expects things to also get personal.
He's kind of signaling that it's all going to be about personal attacks. I'm going to try very hard to focus on the issues that affect the American people and talk to them.
The coronavirus pandemic, another big topic that'll be covered here tonight. And this time around, we'll see even more protections against the spread of the virus, including plexiglass between the candidates. And everyone inside, with the exception of the candidates and the moderator, will be required to wear masks the entire time. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Nashville.
And as we just said just moments ago, that plexiglass was removed from the stage. And the 90-minute debate will begin at 6 o'clock tonight right here on ABC 10. Meantime, tonight, election officials are scrambling to put safety protocols in place at more than 200 super polling locations across the county. With less than 2 weeks till Election Day, ABC 10 News reporter Adam Rakusin shows us the fight to keep in-person voting safe during the pandemic.
We've got social distancing markers just to make sure that we're 6 feet apart.
Social distancing, hand sanitizer, masks, and gloves. This election is unlike any other.
As you can see here, we're cleansing off all the plexiglass.
This is Michael Vu. He's the Registrar of Voters for San Diego County.
The public always expects of our office of integrity, accuracy, transparency, and security. And now we're having to balance that with the other priority of keeping everyone safe and healthy.
At the end of next week, 235 super polling locations will open up across the county. Vu says they've been working with medical professionals to guide them on the best ways to keep people safe.
Will be offered gloves and masks should they forget to bring their mask. And if they need to can't wear a mask or they refuse to wear a mask, there will be a designated spot outside the voting area for them to cast their ballot.
They stocked up on supplies, more than 800,000 gloves and 300,000 masks, over 25,000 tubs of hand sanitizing wipes, 12,000 bottles of hand sanitizer, and 500 dispensers. And don't forget the plexiglass.
Over 1,800 shields of plexiglass to create a barrier between our poll workers as well as voters that may come to all of our super polls locations or here at the Registrar of Voters office.
Each location has a site-specific plan, down to the sanitizing protocols and directions of movement.
And we're asking voters to exit a different location.
Vu says they don't want to infringe on anyone's rights, but want to ensure that they're protecting voters and staff.
That way there is not a spread of the virus that could occur.
Adam Rakusin, ABC 10 News.
The Registrar of Voters is encouraging older adults and people with underlying medical conditions to avoid crowded polling places by voting early. Remdesivir is now the first drug in the U.S. to be FDA approved for treating coronavirus infections. Remdesivir is made by Gilead Sciences, which has offices in Oceanside. Until now, the drug has only been given to hospital patients under an emergency use authorization. It's helped shorten recovery time by about a third for some patients. It was one of the drugs also used to treat President Trump. 2 days after reopening, Vista Unified is reporting the first case of COVID-19 at a high school. According to the school district's case dashboard, a positive case was reported at Mission Vista High School. It doesn't specify whether it's a student, teacher, or school administrator. The district says it's allowing up to 38 students in a single classroom, which means desks are not spaced 6 feet apart. The San Diego Unified School District released the next phase of its reopening plan, but the timing depends on which tier the county is in next week. The second phase would bring pre-K to 5th graders back to campus 4 days a week for split sessions. Fridays would be online check-ins, and 6th through 12th graders would be on campus 2 days a week. They will also be split into sessions that come on campus either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday. You can find details about these phases on 10news.com.
We have lost so much business in California and in San Diego.
Well, San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer is demanding that the governor allow another sector of our economy to reopen. Our tourism industry is starting to show some signs of bouncing back. But ABC 10 News reporter Jeff Lasky reveals why hundreds of millions of dollars that would be coming here are being forced into other states.
So we kind of want you to go through the same experience that a meeting attendee would go through.
Under California's current public health rules, hotels like the Manchester Grand Hyatt are not allowed to host business meetings. Today, San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer attended one to show that it can work.
Okay, very good. Hello there. San Diego and every city in California is ready.
Hotel staff walked him through the process, complete with plexiglass dividers, hand sanitizer, and the questions we're all now used to answering.
Have you been in contact with someone who has shown symptoms of COVID-19?
I've not.
Then into the meeting area, past a buffet table, and into the ballroom, with chairs socially distanced.
And so are we the only state with no business meeting guidelines?
We're the only state in the United States that doesn't allow meetings.
Oh, that's awful.
San Diego tourism officials tell me the industry has already lost $4 billion due to the pandemic, and group meetings account for nearly a quarter of that business. Accordingly, San Diego has lost more than a quarter of its leisure and hospitality jobs compared to a year ago.
That is putting us at a competitive disadvantage.
Today, I took those concerns to the State Department of Public Health. They responded California's blueprint for a safer economy is intentionally slow and stringent to help slow and stop the spread of COVID-19. Any setting where large-scale random mixing occurs presents a higher risk activity for the spread of COVID-19. Mayor Faulconer believes the precautions shown today are enough.
I think seeing is believing. And when you can see firsthand the remarkable precautions that our hotel industry has taken, the remarkable job that they have done with leisure travel, we can host business travel safely.
Jeff Lasky, ABC 10 News.
And we also asked the state when guidance for business meetings will be released, and a spokesperson told us that they will update that guidance based on science and data.